Right hip had less internal rotation when I was on my back. So I'm going to do this, one of my favorite ones. I picked this up from David Gray. If you don't know who David Gray is, definitely go find him. He's a great resource to have and troubleshoot some of your movements on your own. All right. I got like knees at a 90-degree angle. My hips are flexed a little bit. And then I'm just going to rest my head. Then my feet are in line with each other. And then I have a bit of space between my feet. And then I'm going to externally rotate the top hip. So that just means knee up a little bit. But I want to keep both feet flat. Then I have this hand on the floor to give me a little bit of resistance or stability, I guess. And then I want to try and lift my bottom foot or my bottom hip, bottom knee, to my knee, my top knee. Now, I'm noticing that that's pretty easy, right? I'm getting pretty close. So then here's a little trick. You take the top knee, you don't move the foot, you just take the top knee and you put that knee out in front of the bottom knee. And then try to lift your leg. It's different. If it's not different, move your top knee. So when I'm back like this, you see both knees stacked over top of each other? All day. All day. Shift the hips, so I'm this top hip moving this way. Then try to bring it up. It's a different beast. So I'm going to do holds, 5-second holds with the bottom knee lifting up or the bottom hip internally rotating. Whew. Okay. So I got to retest. I'll be able to go and look at it. Internally rotate, back. Internally rotate, back. Just want to see if it has any influence on the internal rotation at the hip, and then if it has any influence on my overhead squat. This is another sort of low level in terms of effort. So these things aren't really like high effort movements. They require a lot of concentration and feeling into things, and they're more about tapping into certain ranges of motion. But in terms of the amount of resistance that's put on my body, the amount of effort that's required to do these things is not very high. So it takes a good amount of concentration and patience, but that is it. It doesn't really take a whole lot of effort. So this one, I'm maybe it'll be best to show you straight on here. But here, I want to try and maintain my shoulders staying as square as I can. Then I'm going to use this leg. So I use this leg to lift, and then I bring this knee back to the ground. I lift by pushing this knee down. Then I want to do the opposite. I want to try and push this knee down, and that's going to get into more internal rotation of the leg that's on the block. Then I pull up, and then I come and push down. Pushing down with this leg, and then the opposite leg pushes down. When I get to here, this is the position I want to try and create more of in this hip. So I'm going to stay there and take one big breath. And then exhale through pursed lips. Then lifting up and then bringing it back down and repeat. Movement pattern to what I was doing on my side, but I took it to a 4-point position. And then I'll retest again. Head squat. And my hip internal rotation. I can feel a bit more happening there. Favorite part, so you've done some low level movements, and now I want to integrate the movements we did on the ground with multiple points of contact. Now we're taking out those constraints or some of the constraints, and now we'll add in a little bit of complexity. So here I'm going to use the wall. I got my back foot is against the wall, and then I'm taking this foot out in front a little bit, slight bend in the knee, hips are going back. Then I'm going to take this kettlebell, and what I want to do here is I'm going to do a pass to this hand. So I want to swing it out here and then pass. When I pass, I want to just stabilize. Then I'm going to just give it to the other hand. Then I take the bell and pass. Stabilize, take the bell, swing it out, pass. Wow. All I got to say with that one is my glutes, especially in this hip, whoo, they're on. So the next step is move away from the wall. You got nothing there, nothing to give you stability. It's just this leg. And from here, same thing. You swing it out, catch. Stabilize, swing it out, catch. Ooh. Swing it out, catch. Good. Now, I'm being a bit, like I'm using a lot of momentum going to this hand. You don't need to do that. This could look like, this could look like you just passing it and just have a bit of pause. When you pass it to this hand, pause. I just want you to try and pause, then go, swing, pause. Swing, pause. In terms of weight, like you don't need much. Like this is a 35 pound bell. Maybe this is a bit heavy. You could go like a 25, a 20, even a 10 pound kettlebell, whatever is just some kind of resistance. Where the forces are going, that's what matters. And the more swing you create one way is the more you got to overcome to stabilize the other way. So just progress it that way. All right, then we go here. Did I get any more? An overhead squatty. Going into more dynamic movement, you get into a slightly wider than hip width apart. And then from here, I'm going to shift from hip to hip. But notice that my knee is tracking inside. It's tracking the big toe, not tracking inside the foot, and it's not externally rotating. So I'm not driving knee outside of the toes. I know how much we love the knees out cue. Nothing wrong with that. But let's try to shift hip to hip. Check me out from my good side here. You're going here, boom, boom, boom. Sorry, I got carried away there. Those are so much fun. But again, it is shifting. I'm shifting here. And if you see the angle, my femur, my hip is in this way. So again, I'm trying to cue my brain that it's okay to go and get internal rotation from this hip. It likes creating internal rotation in this hip. It likes it a lot. This one, it's not as queued up or wired to do it as much into the right hip. So I need to do a few things to troubleshoot it.